A Bavarian badass. This was a car made for a track and had no intention on hitting the road, but the FIA forced them to do so. So here is the history of the BMW M3. It's the 1980s. Mercedes were kicking ass in DTM and Audi were killing it in WRC. So what was BMW doing? Absolutely nothing. It was here where BMW's Motorsport division was like, "Ooh, let's be getting in on some of that action." And so they got to work at improving the E33 series. However, the FIA stated that DTM racing cars, and indeed any other touring car division, had to have their race cars based on road cars, and so they had to make at least 5,000 of them to be sold to the public. BMW's Motorsport division only made race spec cars, so making a car that had to be good on the track and on the road was difficult. After being approved by the sales division at BMW to make these cars, the M guys got to work on making this badass mobile. BMW's first challenge was to make an engine for this M3. Originally, the M1's M88 was suggested, but due to size and weight reasons, it was scrapped. But the engineers knew how good the engine was, so they used a block from the M10 engine and added the M88's head, but they removed 2 cylinders. Here they created the S14. No, not that S14, the BMW S14 engine. Although an E30 M3 and an E33 series were similar looking, they only shared the bonnet, the roof panel, the sunroof and the door panels. Everything else was changed to improve the car. Now the car was more aerodynamic, streamlined and badass. It got a rear wing, wider tyres, better suspension, brakes, you name it, it got it. The E30 M3 was born. The M3 went on sale in 1986, with all of its 5,000 units, as well as another 11,202 units were sold. So how was the M3 in the world of motorsport? Well, it kicked ass. It won the 1987 World Touring Car Championship, the 1987 and 1988 European Touring Car Championship, the 1988 and 1991 British Touring Car Championship, the 1987, 89, 90 and 91 Italia Super Turismo Championship, the 1987 and 1989 Deutschland Tourenwagen, oh who cares, I'll put it up here, the 1987 Australian Touring Car Championship, the 1993 Australian 2-litre Touring Car Championship, the 1987 and 1988 Australian Manufacturers Championship, the 1987 and 1991 AMSCAR Series, and the most prestigious reward of all, the 1990 Irish Tarmac Rally Championship. God damn it, why is this car so good? In 1992 we got the E36 M3. It was the first M3 to have a straight 6 engine, and 17,242 units were built. In Europe we got a 3-litre straight 6, with 282 brake horsepower. And in 1995 the engine was upgraded to a 3.2-litre straight 6, with 317 brake horsepower. Meanwhile, the US got the same engines, but they only produced 240 brake horsepower. The E36 was also available as a coupe, saloon and a cabriolet. We got a rake of special editions, like the M3 Eurospec, the M3 Lightweight, the M3 GT, the M3 GTR and the M3R. Once again, it was business as usual. The car was good on the track, the road and everywhere else. In 2002 we got possibly the greatest BMW of all time, the E46 M3. It also used a 3.2-litre straight 6 engine, producing 333 brake horsepower. A saloon version was never made, and there was a semi-automatic gearbox as well, known as an SMG. There was a more powerful version, known as the CSL. It had 360 brake horsepower, it weighed 1,385 kilograms, and there were only 1,700 units ever made. It was awesome in every way. But BMW were not done with the M3 just yet. To compete in endurance racing, BMW needed to put the M3 on steroids. The M3 GTR was born. It used a 4.4-litre, 443 brake horsepower V8 engine. Its interior was stripped, it was fast, it was furious. BMW had made 10 road legal M3 GTRs to fulfill regulations. They cost about €250,000 each. It kicked ass in the American Le Mans series, the Nürburgring 24 hours and the Spa 24 hours. The M3 GTR was legendary, but it was short-lived. Due to new ALMS regulations, BMW pulled out of endurance racing. Thankfully, the M3 GTR would rise again as the hero car in Need for Speed Most Wanted. This car is loved by so many people that a guy I follow on YouTube and Instagram is making one in real life. In 2008, the E90 generation of M3 was launched. The saloon version was added back and the inline 6 was gapped and replaced with a 4-litre V8 producing 414 brake horsepower. It was heavy but sophisticated. It had a much more modern DCT gearbox, as well as a good old manual. Again, the M3 captured the hearts of motoring journalists. From Top Gear to Motor Trend, everyone had something nice to say about the E90 M3. They even made a one-off pickup concept, but it never made it to production. But it is used as a transport vehicle for BMW's M division, after it replaced the E30 M3 pickup. There was a competition pack, which had upgraded suspension and nicer wheels. There was also the GTS, a 135 unit, 4.4 litre V8 track weapon with 444 brake horsepower. It weighed 1,530 kilograms and it was orange. To add to the special editions, there was the M3 CRT. This car had the same V8 as the GTS, but it was a saloon. A lot of carbon parts were used, and it was rare. Only 67 were ever made. There was also a DTM edition, a Lime Rock edition, a limited edition 500, and a Frozen edition. In racing, it competed in the GT2 category, and it competed in Spa, Sebring, Nürburgring, Le Mans, and anything that the ALMS could throw at it. In 2014 we got the F80 M3, and the all-new F82 M4. For the first time ever, it used a twin-turbo engine. The straight 6 produces 425 brake horsepower, and it's a cracker of an engine. However, a lot of people see the F82 as a low point in the M3's lifespan, but it's still a great car. The M4 has received the GTS treatment. It has 493 brake horsepower. It weighs 1,585 kilograms, and only 700 units have ever been made. Both the M3 and the M4 got the CS package, which has 454 brake horsepower, and a selection of new colours and wheels. 1,200 M3 CSs have been made. In May 2018, the final F80 M3 rolled off the production line. But don't expect the M3 to be gone for long though, as the next 3 series is just around the corner.